Hi there, friends. Welcome and thanks for joining us for another informative weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Inside the pages today, we'll examine the use of spatial data in national development, get health-wise tips for preventing food poisoning. Sit back and relax with these and more exciting features coming up on the other side of this break.
Motorists, please look out for us when we're crossing the road.
Thanks again for being here. The Christmas season is one for togetherness and merrymaking. But in all the excitement, especially on our roadways, there can also arise unfortunate incidents leading to serious injury or even death. So on this first leg of our Jamaica Magazine journey, we are learning some road safety rules to keep us together safe and happy.
Pedestrians, it is only safe to cross this designated part of the road if you follow the road rules. Never attempt to cross before the indication is given, and do not try to beat the oncoming traffic which has the green light.
You have overhead bridges, and overhead bridges are safe areas that are provided for pedestrians to cross. What we are seeing are pedestrians dashing across dual carriageways and then leaping over concrete medians. That is a no-no. We have had persons who have lost their lives doing that. And I am now appealing to pedestrians to do the right thing and access the overhead bridges that are provided in order to save your own life.
Where there is no overhead bridge or crossing sign, use the pedestrian crossing with caution. Monitor the lights and cross when it's safe to do so. That is a dangerous practice and a 99.9% chance of this happening.
The amount of kinetic energy that comes upon your body, that is going to determine whether or not you survive.
There are several signs. Road signs are the language of the road. You have informational signs, directional signs, warning signs, and you have enforcement signs. Enforcement signs are erected upright or those that are drawn on the road surface. For example, you have stop sign, one-way sign, and it points in the direction where the one-way is. No U-turn, no parking, no right turn, no entry, a number of signs. If there is no sign that are erected upright, you will see yellow markings painted on curb walls. That constitute no parking, and you should not park in those areas. You park where white painting is drawn on those curb walls. Those are areas where parking is permitted. You have continuous white lines that are drawn on road surface. No motorist should drive to the right of a continuous white line. There are some other signs, especially like along Knutsford Boulevard, where the dual carriageway is, but there is any elevated median. You see something looking like a zebra crossing. those crossing depicts a median, but a median that is not elevated. On the approach of a traffic light, for example, Halfway Tree Road, Chelsea Avenue, by GIS there is no filter light. You are to obey the light, and whenever you get green, you are to proceed. These lights are so configured that they allow for a pedestrian to cross. So when that red light is on, pedestrians are crossing. So that's why a filter light is not put in. When approaching a roundabout, you are to yield to the person to the right. Right? Always allow for that person to go first. A similar thing with a yield sign, a give way sign. You are to yield to the person and allow that person to proceed. If you happen to overtake, you are to do so if the way is clear, and once you complete that maneuver, you are to get back to the left lane and remain there. We have persons anticipating the light. You have those that are anticipating the green, and even before the green comes on, they are off. And you have others who are beating the amber in order to go by as well. And I should tell you this, red means you are to stop, amber means you are to prepare to stop, and green means you are to go if the way is clear.
And remember, always wear your seatbelt.
Make sure you're obeying the rules of the road and stay safe. We now shift to another important topic of safety during this holiday period. Our next feature examines the risk of food contamination and tips to avoid food poisoning.
Dangerous strains of bacteria such as E. coli and Salmonella can cause serious health problems when the food we eat become contaminated through improper handling and not being properly cooked. In light of the dangers, there are some important precautionary measures we must observe to protect our health.
We have to make sure we know where we're purchasing our food. If it's straight from the farms, if it's from the market, it's from the supermarket, it's from the meat shop. Ensure that it is clean. When you are preparing the food, ensure that you have a separate cutting board for meats, separate cutting board for vegetables, and you're constantly washing your hands. If you're going to eat out, ensure that the environment in which you're going to take your family is one where you can trust that the food is being prepared in a clean environment. We love our street food, and we encourage, as Consumer Protection Agency, we encourage that economic activity. But we're saying you're to take precautions as well. Ensure that your street food are from reputable persons that you know you can trust.
Check the expiry date on food products before purchasing and check them again before cooking.
In food preparation as well, the education is to ensure that you separate the raw from the cooked. You know, the raw and the cooked is a totally different environment. So when you mix the two, that's when you have contamination. That's when you have food poisoning. That's when you have a member of the family who might end up in the hospital because they're either very young or they're elderly or their immune system has been compromised.
Discard any food that looks or smells questionable. Don't allow your food to stay open and accessible to flies. Containerize and refrigerate or freeze leftover food before 2 hours after cooking. And always store meats and seafood in sealed containers.
The second thing about food safety is you have large amounts of food laid out for a couple hours or more, and the family keeps coming back, dipping, visitors coming, dipping. you have to ensure if you have the food out for more than 2 hours, hot food, be very careful, especially if you add sauces and other condiments on the food. It tends to go a little off early, and that is where you have problems if you have an elderly person or a young child. Make sure that you put that away early, that you don't put your family at risk, because food poisoning, most of us get well quickly, but it can lead to death if your immune system has been compromised. So we're saying be safe with your food. Ensure that when you package them and put them away, they're packaged in portions where when you take them out to reheat, you don't reheat the entire thing and then put it back in the refrigerator. So you apportion it according to what you're going to be using, so you don't increase the risk of food poisoning or any other bacteria entering the food.
Ensure meats are cooked thoroughly. Remember, improper food handling can mean the difference between a trip to the emergency room or enjoying a tasty meal.
Flu season is here. Let's fight the flu with these tips. Stay up to date with recommended flu vaccines. Practice good hygiene, that is frequent hand washing and sanitizing, covering your mouth and nose when sneezing, and sanitizing frequently touched surfaces. You're also encouraged to eat a balanced diet, take vitamin and mineral supplements, stay hydrated, and stay away from persons displaying flu-like symptoms. Protect yourself this flu season.
Jamaica is on the road to developed country status. As a developing country, the island is drawing on the application of geographic information or geospatial data to guide and solve challenges. Keep watching to learn about the management role spatial data is playing in national development.
Simone Lloyd, Acting Principal Director of the National Spatial Data Management Branch. So the National Spatial Data Management Branch falls under the geospatial component of the land portfolio of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. And the branch is charged with the responsibility of overseeing and coordinating Jamaica's development of a national spatial data management, National Spatial Data Infrastructure, an NSDI. And this NSDI is really a network of geographic information systems across government, also should be across private sector and other entities, to ensure that we're able as a country to develop spatial data, share these resources, develop services that can support national development at large. National Spatial Data Management Branch is to ensure or is to promote the development of Jamaica's geospatial sector, so the advancement of the sector. And through the advancement of the sector, ensuring that geospatial data is developed, it is available, it is managed, and it's accessible by all the various users. So we provide a lot of support, technical support, to various projects and programs across government at large. We're key with respect to ensuring that we're, as a country, able to develop a cadre of persons who have geospatial skills. And so through that, we have various projects and programs that are training related. So training, education, and public awareness is a strong arm of the NSDMB, whereby we target the government at large to ensure that persons have the requisite skills and knowledge set to utilize these various resources at large within whichever ministry, department, or agency within which they fall. In addition to ensuring that secondary through tertiary in particular institutions, that their students are able to develop the skill sets and knowledge base as to what geospatial is and how it is that it's a viable career option, and how it is that it can help with respect to conducting the various research that they may need to do where various projects are concerned, whether it be internally within their institution or externally at large. So top 3 projects of which we are currently doing, we are happy to be partnering with the Coconut Industry Board, whereby we're spearheading a project with respect to mapping their gene bank. So Jamaica has the largest pool with respect to coconut palm varieties within the entire Caribbean, within actually the Western Hemisphere, and it's housed here in St. Thomas in their gene bank. And so we have been assisting them with respect to 2 different programs. One program to map that particular gene bank, all the various varieties of coconuts that occur there, and with that being able to monitor that, develop a GIS web map application that helps with respect to them being able to monitor and track and be able to put in sustainable measures where those varieties are concerned, and with that being able to expand upon or export market where the coconut industry is concerned. So that is key. Partnering also with JACRA, and also with RADA, so with the Rural Agricultural Development Agency, also with the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority with respect to their focus on various crops that are produced and how it is that we can expand upon our export market and therefore our revenue that is earned through foreign exchange. So partnerships that support the advancement of our agriculture industry are prime, but also focus on our tourism industry. So partnering with the Tourism Enhancement Fund, we would have recently gotten approval for a project to execute with for the Tourism Enhancement Fund that will look at predictive modeling where the sargassum is concerned. So sargassum is a major concern for tourism industry. Many persons who come to our island look forward to sun, sea, and sand in terms of our products as a country. And so going onto a beach and seeing sargassum either on the beach or in the water is not very pleasant. So being able to track and monitor what is the origin of these blooms and with respect to what direction they will take in terms of impact across our island, in terms of our coastline, is very important. So developing a predictive model that looks at sargassum and how able to target that challenge is a major project of which we'll be executing for the Tourism Enhancement Fund. Another major project is with respect to the upgrade of our National Geospatial Data Repository. So we house a National Geospatial Data Repository that deals with storage of geospatial data for government entities. So government entities that are custodians of data sets, how it is that we support backup of those data sets and also accessibility of those data sets if needed for national projects that have a geospatial component. So we facilitate backup, but also accessibility to those data sets if needed for the various government projects that support national development. And also with respect to projects that support research, whether it be research within education institutions or outside of that, that also support national development. So that's also another major area. The government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, is developing and building mines, in addition to advancing projects and programs through geospatial technology.
Up next.
Our function is to seek to have persons being registered owners of property so that they can.
Are you an entrepreneur producing an excellent Jamaican product or service? Did you know you can earn hard currency and more significant returns by exporting? Contact the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to help propel your business along the export lane.
Everything you can produce, the Jamaicans overseas want it. We're not going to get rich by just bringing down the debt. We're going to get rich by exporting a lot more. So grow exports, create job opportunities, drive economic growth through exports to make Jamaica a richer and much more prosperous country.
Export Max is propelling Jamaica's economic expansion. It's what JAMPRO is promoting through a program to support the creation of profitable business enterprises that are able to market their goods internationally and help facilitate Jamaica's growth and development. Learn more in this next feature.
Before Export Max 3, our company needed a larger presence within the US market. We were reaching our capacity in terms of being able to fill the orders, and we also wanted to be able to leverage a program that can guide us within many inroads within America and also other markets such as Europe, but also to leverage to expand to grow our facility.
Now through the Enterprise Development for Export Growth Export Max program, enterprising goals like these are being realized. It is an initiative of Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO, and is now in its 4th phase.
Export Max started in 2011, coming out of an understanding that we had to do a little bit more hand-holding, look at companies and their specific needs, and then work with them so that they're ready to go into markets overseas.
Micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, are getting access to international markets for both goods and services. JAMPRO is arming these entities with the capacity and knowledge to be competitive and penetrate, hold and grow their share of these markets. The Enterprise Development for Export Growth Export Max program has been growing consistently since its inception as a pilot project in 2011 with 15 MSMEs. Sharp focus is on enhancing internal capabilities, encompassing finance, management, technology, productivity, and general business processes. Collectively, these serve to address the supply-side challenges faced by existing and potential exporters and export-ready firms.
The first thing we do is our assessment of where they are, where they're going. We come up with a program of activities, and we work with our partners. So there's the Jamaica Productivity Center, the Bureau of Standards, it could be the Heart Trust, and then we have different interventions. So we have, through our partnership with the JMEA, and the Jamaica Business Development Center, we've worked with them to get business mentors and coaches, people that have been in the space of exports for a while and can teach them and show them some of the things they need to do.
We would have access, we have an e-ping. It's a process where the information to access a market, so it's certification requirements, standard requirements, testing requirements, and those kind of things. So we provide that information to MSMEs, and additionally now, on the other side, so the bottom up, we provide testing services in the labs. We have calibration services for equipment, microbead testing, engineering testing, and accreditation certification services. So the BSJ, from a top down and a bottom up, we have MSMEs to access these markets.
We provide the working capital support for these exporters, mainly with pre-shipment and post-shipment financing. The pre-shipment finance would allow them to purchase their raw material, retool, equipment, in order to get them ready for export. In addition to that, we also have what we call the trade credit insurance.
Jamaican companies are also getting introduced to global markets through JAMPRO-led trips to international trade shows. The agency is also ensuring local companies have a platform to capitalize on global e-commerce with market penetration support.
There is a big thrust now around digital marketing and e-commerce for exports. And that is where we also have an advantage. So that rather than making that push to find buyers and distributors in overseas markets, we're going straight to the consumer so that the average person in the middle of the US or in some outer town in the UK can start to order products without having to worry about the hassle of how do you find those markets.
Export Max was really good for us. we not only network with people amongst us within the Export Max, but with Team Jampro. They really mentor us through, we had training with technical advice, marketing plans being done for us, and they were just buzzed. Even through the old COVID era, they had created an online platform for us to still meet with our network with customers and new linkages as far as Dubai, Saudi Arabia. So we're able to get linkages into these markets.
We have partners that we have worked with. Amazon, as you know, Jamaican companies can now put their products on Amazon for shipment overseas. There are other local companies such as Carib Shopper that we've worked with in the past, and there are others that are coming on board every day that we will continue to expose our companies to.
While and after the Export Max 3 program, the exposure that was given to us in marketing, promotion was extremely valuable. And that exposure generated more sales than we have generated before going into the Export Max 3 program. With Jampro, it was market exploration, market data, market linkages, and also the discount services such as, for example, the BSJ. The BSJ provided us with discounts for testing, and lab testing is some of our and most critical aspects to control our product quality. Also with JBDC, by pulling alongside us, of course, and creating templates for us to follow and to work with. Also providing insight in how we can become more efficient. I would like to be able to thank them mutually.
The export-led growth vision continues to garner more partnership among the private and public sectors. Programs such as Export Max are helping to eliminate the country's trade deficit and create a more prosperous Jamaica.
The Christmas trend today has changed a lot from previous times. So previous times you had big markets, there was a lot of home cooking. There was not a lot of home cooking anymore. People buy a lot of things, you don't get that sort of home cooked thing anymore. The people where, I remember my mother used to buy sorrel, and she used to prepare the sorrel herself. Or you prepare the cake yourself rather than buying the cake now. My mother used to prepare the cake and prepare everything at home. So that's some of the things that people need to do. They need to look at maybe doing that preparation at home.
This is where we leave you on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be here on the station tomorrow for more information you can use to transform your life. Until then, visit our website jis.gov.jm for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to let the spirit of love, peace and joy illuminate your life and those around you.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.